Whoa! A new Avengers game just came out? Wow, and Crystal Dynamics is behind it? Oh my god, oh my god. Finally, I've been wanting a game out of the Avengers for so long. Aw, man. Oh man, it's $60, but hey, I think it's definitely gonna be worth it. Like, oh my god, this is gonna be the best game ever. Oh yes. Oh man, there's no way this is gonna disappoint. I mean, come on, how could they mess this up? Oh. That's how. Okay. Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis meeting you once again. Welcome back to another video game review. This is for a game that's been out for nearly 2 months now, but I finally decided, you know what, I'll just play the game just for the hell of it, just so I can give you guys my thoughts on it. And that's for Marvel's Avengers, the official video game developed by Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics. In this game adaptation on the famous heroes, it involves a girl named Kamala Khan who is a massive fan of the heroes, and during convention, all hell breaks loose. And during a tragic event, Captain America supposedly dies, and years later the heroes have split up. Kamala gains powers of her own and tries to bring the team back to save the world after what happened during the time of what they call A-Day. And you play as her as well as the Avengers themselves. When this game was first revealed, it gained a lot of hype. Lots of people were excited. People were hoping that this was going to be the game, the best superhero video game of all time. Although over time, as more things have been announced for the game that didn't really sound all that great, the hype died down a little bit. Now, throughout the past 3 years, I have given games no lower than a 3.5 out of 5. Mostly because I choose to buy games that I know I'm going to enjoy. Whether if it's $60, I want to be sure that they're going to be games that I'm going to really enjoy. But now that I have GameFly, I won't need to worry about that anymore, since I can just rent the ones that didn't really get that much critical praise. So after those 3 years, I'm finally reviewing a game that, spoiler alert, if you didn't already tell from the intro, is going to be getting a lower score from me, unfortunately. I was pretty disappointed in this game. But before I nitpick and talk about what I didn't like, there are some things I did like. First, its graphics, they're nearly flawless. The design of the world is outstanding, though some of the faces that were given to the Avengers, I didn't really find all that appealing. Honestly, I kind of wish they took inspiration from the MCU just a little bit. Also, the performances by everybody were great. Hearing Nolan North and Troy Baker voice some of our favorite heroes was just a blessing to hear. As for the main girl and new addition to the team, Kamala Khan, who gets the name Miss Marvel, she's okay as a new addition. I mean, she's really fun to play as with her stretchability, but I didn't really feel her character was that well developed. I mean, she first just starts off as a fangirl who writes fanfiction and then just gains powers and becomes a hero. But how's the gameplay exactly? Well, all the characters have different movesets. Iron Man has Repulsor Blast, Hulk uses his fists, Black Widow has her guns, Thor has his hammer, and Cap has his shield. The movesets they have are pretty cool and can be fun at times, but the more I was playing, it did get pretty repetitive. The campaign took me about 10 hours to beat, not including the side missions, and that was also kind of disappointing to see as well. I mean, the side missions are there mostly just if you want to grind. Some of them have a purpose, but for the most part, they just got really old really fast and weren't really worth all the additional time spent. What else I did enjoy was being able to have the team along with each other in certain parts, meaning you can make your own team of heroes you want to take with you on certain missions. That was expected, and it was fun to see. But now, I think it's time to get into my biggest issues. First, even though it's been almost 2 months, most of the bugs were fixed, the game still doesn't run all that well. I played on PS4, the frame rate dropped like crazy. It really got on my nerves. And it just slowed down too much. I mean, it never crashed, but it just felt like it was gonna break for me. Also, the enemies. throughout your adventure are pretty much the same robots and guys with guns as your main enemies, and that's pretty much it. And not much else. And that's including bosses, which there weren't that many. But the bosses weren't even that fun either. Especially the first one. The first one kind of felt like a joke. Like, there was no thought put into some of these bosses. The final boss wasn't even all that fun either. It was just going from stage to stage until it finally had enough. Now, in terms of the skill system, it's okay for the most part, but what was really a letdown for me was the gear that you get, okay? You do get a lot of gear that you can use to power up your allies and stuff, but when you put them on, it doesn't change your appearance at all. It's like they're ghost gear or something. Now, despite all that being said, most of the journey I had in this game, I didn't really find any parts of the game to be that memorable. Sure, it was great to see the Avengers get back together and reunite, and Kamala has strong relationships with some of the characters, mostly with Bruce Banner. And there was a pretty funny joke that did go on, specifically the part that involves a character that calls him or herself Tiny Dancer. And luckily, we do get a bit of Elton John references from it. But for me, the story wasn't really that interesting compared to other Marvel games a la Spider-Man for PS4. All in all, Avengers wasn't really worth it for me. It starts off fun enough, but it got repetitive really quickly. Its short campaign and same old side missions hurt the use of replayability for me. The story wasn't that interesting, the bosses weren't interesting, and it's the type of game that the developers could have done so much more justice to, no pun intended. It just makes me happy that you can still rent games to this day. I'm gonna give Marvel's Avengers a 2.5 out of 5. It's not a terrible game. There is some enjoyment out of it, but it was just really, really disappointing for me. Like, really. If you're curious about this game, if you really want to get this game, I would just wait till the price drops really, really low, because $60 I feel is too much, even for multiplayer. Like, I didn't try the multiplayer, but I heard it's not really all that great either. But, hey, if you're a big fan of the series, then you might really enjoy this. I'm a big fan of the series too, but I didn't really see myself enjoying it that much as I was playing along. It was a good attempt, but it just didn't quite hit the mark for me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.